Welcome into Automotive Insiders. I'm your host, Jason Stein. Great to have you back with us again. As the commercial vehicle market undergoes rapid transformation, from regulatory headwinds to the rise of software defined vehicles, understanding where the industry is heading has never been more important. In this episode, we explore how Allison Transmission is adapting and leading through disruption. And joining us today is John Coll, Senior Vice President, Global Marketing, Sales, and Service, Allison Transmission, as well as Collin Shaw, President of MEMA OE Suppliers. We will talk about all things related to the CV landscape, and it's a front row seat to what's changing. Today, we dive into Allison's big commitment to electrification, the global shift towards software-defined vehicles, how upcoming EPA regulations are reshaping product roadmaps, and why AI and predictive diagnostics are no longer on the fringe. It's a conversation about transformation, strategy, and the future of the commercial vehicle market here on Automotive Insiders. John, what a pleasure to have you on the program. Thanks for being here with us.
Hey, Jason. Nice to see you, and thank you for the invite. Very privileged and humbled to be here today with you and Collin.
We're honored to have you as well. Collin, welcome back into the program.
Thanks, Jason. As always, appreciate it, John. Thank you for your time. I know there's no shortage of things happening. So, John, I want to thank you for your time and everything you do on behalf of MEMA and the board as well.
Always. Thank you.
So today on Automotive Insiders, we're going to talk a little bit about Allison Transmission's perspective on the commercial vehicle evolution. And John, you are well positioned to talk about all of that. Let's begin. How is Allison Transmission viewing the current transformation in the commercial vehicle sector?
Yeah, well, thanks, Jason. Big question, and I'll probably take a global view. Just real quickly, Allison Transmission, we're a $3 billion company. We trade with over 350 global OEMs across the world and every corner of the world, actually. And just for the viewers, we're the world's largest manufacturer and provider of fully automatic transmissions into the commercial vehicle world. So as we look at transformation, how you define that. I won't get into tariffs today because that's transforming the world for all of us, as Collin well knows, heading up MEMA and his and I time working in Washington, D.C. Really, when we talk about transformation, we look at two things: technology, driving transformation, again, globally, as well as regulations. But from a technology point of view, a lot of conversation goes to electrification. I think secondly, around autonomous vehicles, there's a third rail happening within the global commercial vehicle OEMs, and that's around software-defined vehicles. And that's our global OEMs really trying to bring together what has always been a disparate architecture based on dealing with folks like Allison or engine, braking, axle, and other MEMA members. So they're really looking to bring that together, working with supply base such as us, and just to have a more sophisticated and really more of a global footprint with the software-defined vehicle. As far as electrification, many members of MEMA, including Allison, and everybody looks at automotive first, but on the commercial vehicle side of this, we have been investing in this as well, Allison, since 2019, through a couple acquisitions and then through investment of capital. Since then, we've invested over $500 million in electrification. Right now, just based on where the regulations are, that is up in the air as far as it regards the EPA regulations, greenhouse gas, NOx, GHG. We're continuing to look at this as a long-term trend post 2030. So we will continue to have that as part of our portfolio. When you look outside US though, in the businesses we do in Europe and even China, they are still continuing to push ahead on electrification. So that transformation continues to happen. Here in the US, really the investment in alternative fuels. And if you depends on the segment, for example, we have over 90% market share in the school bus industry, which is about a 35,000 unit production a year. And that's really moved several years ago, alternative fuels such as natural gas, propane, or even octane. And then finally, as we move into the 2027 phase two greenhouse gases, octane is taking on a renewed interest in commercial vehicle, especially in medium duty. And so we're working with the OEMs, with the engine manufacturers to develop appropriate technology for that. And then the last one is the increase of ratings because of the 2027 phase two greenhouse gas is pushing our technology actually to change, and we're having to actually redesign our product to meet those higher ratings. So that's a little bit of a high level view of how we see the transformation within the commercial vehicle industry.
And John, you mentioned regulatory changes repeatedly here. What impact are those changes having on your roadmap, on your development roadmap?
Yeah, it's a question that we deal with daily, Jason and Collin. Is number one on the regulations is really greenhouse gas phase three, which is post 2027. Where will those come out? Based on what the EPA is doing now and trying to actually rescind those that go all the way back to 2009. So if those move forward, we'll have to continue to alter our product to actually work with the increased ratings of the engines. So those regulations then impact our electrification investments. And this is where, unlike automotive and our members in automotive, where electrification is moving not just because of the greenhouse gas regulations, but because of the demand from the end users, the car buyers that may be more of an emotional buy. Well, in commercial vehicle, what is distinctly different is that the end user, the fleet, they're making a business decision. That truck, that bus, that dock spotter is being used to accomplish a job. And if that total cost of ownership's not there, then they're not going to buy that technology, whether it's natural gas, electrification, or hybrid. So the regulations are one, but really it comes down to that total cost of ownership. And as we've all been dealing with now, also the infrastructure, right? Is the charging infrastructure there for electrification? The other regulations that we're looking at too are more global. And as you get into the European Union, if you get into the Asia Pacific countries and even South America, they're as stringent or more stringent than the EPA regulations we're dealing with here. So we have to look at the customization of our product into those markets as well, not just here in the United States.
Collin, over to you. John talked a little bit about your activities in DC. I know you have spent the better part of this year doing what you can in DC on various matters. What's MEMA doing to advocate for CV members in the nation's capital?
Yeah, it's a great question. The commercial vehicle industry, I continue to be incredibly proud of, and what we've done this year is we've seen greater levels of connectivity and collaboration, not only among suppliers but also among the OEMs. in our work, getting out some letters on behalf of commercial vehicle suppliers to the administration, highlighting how this market is different from the passenger car market, as well as how this market uniquely supports the U.S. economy. Our trucks are different. A lot of the manufacturing, in fact, most of the manufacturing for commercial trucks takes place in the United States and North America, as well as the suppliers. And so we've collaborated with a number of other associations, OEMs, to make sure the administration is aware of that. We've done fly-ins specifically for commercial vehicles. So we've taken a number of our commercial vehicle members specifically to talk about that with members of the House and Senate. And the other thing is we ensure every time we're having some of our very high-level meetings, we ensure that our commercial vehicle members are represented, along with our aftermarket and passenger car, because the impact on commercial vehicle, whether it be at the supplier level and the jobs they create here in the United States, or down to the fleet level, because of the fleets, whether they be an owner operator, some of our large fleets, they employ millions of people in the United States. And ultimately that's, those are the people that buy our trucks, they buy our parts. And so making sure that they have safe, cost-effective equipment is very important. So we've made sure that in every single one of those discussions that the administration is aware and is also educated on commercial vehicle, because it is a different market, even though in the supply base, some of our suppliers support both. It is a very different market structurally. So making sure the administration is also educated on that has been very important for us at the MEMA level.
John, we've spent a lot of time over the past few years on this program talking about AI and data analytics and how it fits into the powertrain ecosystem. Let's hear what Allison's view of that is. Where's predictive maintenance? How about maybe fleet or uptime optimization?
Yeah, Jason, it's a question we get on every one of our meetings with our OEM executives, with our distributor, with our channel, and the end user fleet. One of the things I think is maybe misnomer about AI is that it's on the bleeding edge, that you got to be careful, let others do it first. But what we're finding in our business, and we're starting even in our call center. We have a global call center based here at our global headquarters in Indianapolis that that our channel, the end users call in. They have a question on maintenance, for warranty issue. Well, forever, for the 100+ years of Allison, we've been doing that via a human person taking that call, and as you can't always get someone. So we're actually investing now in AI, similar to what we all use in our daily lives when we go on and retail, car dealership, anything else. So we're implementing that. We're investing in that AI. So no matter where that customer is around the world, no matter what time, they're going to get a response immediately. And if it's if it's a technical issue, we'll actually walk them through, a fault tree, for example. So we're investing there. You brought up diagnostics and telematics. We're working with our global OEMs now because we are connected, with our transmission and our control unit into that truck, and actually now taking the data that's streaming off of there, not only gaining the analytics, but now getting into the generative AI of actually giving us insights and intelligence on that. So we're making the investments. Candidly, the customers, whether it's the OEMs or the fleets, are demanding that around the world, not just here in the US, and in all applications, from on highway to mining trucks that are running our transmissions in Chile, for example. We're able to use AI to get that data and actually make decisions based on it.
Final question for both of you. Collin, when you look ahead, what excites you the most about the space in the CV market, maybe over the course of the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, there's obviously going to be a lot of back and forth on emissions and powertrain and where that goes. But what I'm really excited about is the confluence of software-defined vehicles and safety technology. I spent a lot of time in the commercial vehicle world on safety technology, and due to the nature that I find the commercial vehicle market to traditionally have been a little bit more collaborative between supplier to supplier, supplier to fleet, and OEM. I think the ability to really continue to take fleets and driver safety to the next level through safety equipment, safety features really excites me, because ultimately, the drivers we have on the road driving our commercial vehicles are the best. They are professional drivers. However we can do it to protect them, to welcome in new drivers into this space, I think there's so much opportunity there for the supplier ecosystem as well as the OEMs that's the area over the next 3 to 5 years. While there may be a lot of discussion and figuring out where we go with emissions, but safety and that software piece really have the ability to take our highway safety to the next level.
John, same question to you.
Yeah, a fantastic question, and Jason. I look at it across the value chain, from commercial vehicle. Again, a little bit different from automotive. There's a lot of similarities as well, but if you look at the value chain, you have the OEM, you have the MEMA members, such as Allison. Then you have the dealer network. You actually have a companies called bodybuilders that actually get those chassis and put on the dump truck or the fire truck, etc. And then you have the fleet, the end user. So when you look at the commercial vehicle industry, where we're going, number one, our country continues to grow. No matter where you are on the tariff discussion, there is going to be in today more onshoring coming back into the US. So that's more jobs, that's more construction. You look at the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, and the amount of investment going into our economy, that's going to need more trucks. 80% of the freight today is moved by trucks. When you get into vocational markets, I like to say 100% of dirt's moved by commercial vehicles. So when you look at that and you then think back to the transformational elements we talked about, software-defined vehicles, electrification. We didn't talk about autonomous. The capstone to that is the OEMs are going to continue to need suppliers, MEMA members, to continue to bring innovation and technology to them. They're telling us today, they're demanding that, and that's what excites me, that partnership with the OEMs driving value down to the end users is just going to continue to grow. And it's going to be a great place to not only invest in commercial vehicle, but a great place to actually continue to recruit into, especially in the US.
That sums it up. Lots of opportunities for innovation and a lot of energy around what will happen in this space. Thank you both for being on the program. I just want to encourage folks to register for the August 26th MEMA OECV Outlook, which is, of course, is coming up at the end of the month. So, John, thank you for being on the program.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jason.
Collin, thank you, as always.
Thank you both. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you to my guests, John Coll, Senior Vice President, Global Marketing, Sales, and Service for Allison Transmission, and Collin Shaw, President, MEMA OE Suppliers. Thanks for listening to the program. You can find more Automotive Insiders wherever you find your favorite podcast platform. I'm your host, Jason Stein. We'll see you again next time.